Okay, hi there, friends. This is Bill Houston, and you've tuned in to the Bill Houston podcast. How y'all doing? We're broadcasting from the relatively new podcast studio here. Oop, let me turn on the light, the on-the-air light, so that you can see that. So, I'm going to show you, hi there. This is one angle that I have for you. So I just want to talk to you today about something strange that I found. This apparently actually came out on February 23rd, this story, but I haven't seen it in any media outlets. I haven't seen anybody covering it really. So I just thought that I'd tell you a little bit about this this kind of weird story about Cabot Oil and Gas, okay? So let me show you this. This is the report right here, okay? This is, it was actually announced on this site called, where did it say? Eventvestor, okay? So Cabot Oil and Gas, the board of directors has authorized a stock buyback of 30 million outstanding shares on Friday, February 23rd. So this has only really recently been kind of coming out on the industry press. That's why I recently found it, and so it's a little bit strange. Let me just read the story to you, and then we'll do some analysis. So it says Cabot Oil and Gas, NYSE COG, declared that its board of directors approved a stock repurchase plan, which authorizes the company to repurchase 30 million outstanding shares on Friday, February 23rd, and Eventvestor reports. The repurchase authorization authorizes the oil and gas exploration company to repurchase shares of its stock through open market purchases. Shares repurchase plans are usually a sign that the company's board of directors believe its stock is undervalued. Right. So what they're really trying to do is they're kind of putting aside a little kitty so that they can buy back their own stock shares just in case the price plummets. Isn't that interesting? So let's continue. Okay, so COG, Cabot Oil and Gas, has been the subject of several recent analyst reports. Morgan Stanley recently restated a sell rating on shares of Cabot Oil and Gas. In a research note on Thursday, December 14th, Raymond James Financial downgraded Cabot from an outperformed rating to a sell rating. In a research note on Tuesday, January 2nd, Zacks Investment Research upgraded Cabot Oil and Gas from a hold to a buy. So there's up and down, and there's not really much analysis here about what's real, other than the fact that the board thinks their stock is undervalued. Why would they buy back their own stock? Does that make any sense to you? So I'm asking, leave a comment here, or send me an email, but mainly leave a comment on the video so we can have maybe a little discussion. Or if you see this video posted on Facebook, leave a comment and tell me what your theory is, because I'm not so up on the stock market. I don't really feel like I understand it, and so it just seems a little bit weird. I'm trying to switch my camera now. Here we go. If I can make this one. I'm sorry. So, all right, that looks like a pretty good shot, except this is in the way. Okay, so let's do a little bit of analysis, okay? So let me call this up. I'm going to call just a little spreadsheet that I entered in, and so here it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen so you can see it too. All right, so here's a little authorized a buyback. Here's the current price. Let's just look at the stock really quick. Let's do my browser is acting a little bit slow today. All right. This is going to, let's just look up the current price. I already looked it up, but I just want to show you how I was able to find this information so that you can find it too yourself. You can go to several different sites. I like to go to Yahoo, but there's several different sites that give you the same information. Let me let you see what I'm looking at now. So $24.99. This was the last. Let's look at the 5-day chart. This was the last, the closing price, 24. It says 98 here. I don't know, 99 here. So this was 1 day. Let's look at the 5-day average. So it was really strange that basically at about 11 o'clock, somewhere around noon time on Friday, Cabot stock started taking a dive. And as you can see down here, if you look at these lines down here, there was kind of heavy trading toward the end of the day. There was a big sell-off, sell, 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 sell. Now, part of that could have been there was a change recently in apparently FERC has something to do with this tax exemption that was granted to MLPs, Master Limited Partnerships. Now, a lot of pipeline companies are organized as master limited partnerships, and there's some kind of tax advantage. Once again, you're going to have to like do some if you research pipeline company and master limited partnership, I think you're going to find some references to that. So you can do some research on that. But for some reason, these big midstream companies are largely organized as master limited partnerships. And there was a big tax exemption that they were able to get. Well, FERC on Friday, I think it was Friday, or Thursday or Friday, FERC changed this this exemption, and they no longer made this exemption. And all of the midstream stocks like Williams and Dominion, let's just look up Dominion really quick. Let me show you that. So let's do a DOM. Let's just look up Dominion really quick. So all of the midstream stocks, Dominion and Williams. Let's look at Dominion. Here's Dominion. Let me show it to you. So here's Dominion. Look at this. Let's look at the 5-day, because you can tell exactly what day it happened. It happened Thursday. This is when it happened, was on Thursday. So it took a big tumble here. So it was up around... Dominion stock was hanging up around 26.5, and by the end of the week, it was down to 21.3. They lost $4 a share, it looks like, on average, almost $5 a share. The same thing happened with, let's look at Williams really quick. Williams is another big midstream company. Ooh, look at that. Bam! Heavy trading. Look at this heavy. See the lines down here? The white lines at the bottom? That means really heavy trading. This was Wednesday. Cruise. Bam! So there's a big dive right here whenever FERC announced this this change to the tax exemption for master limited partnerships. So if we go back to Cabot, the Cabot stock, you know, the big crash happened on Thursday. Let's go back and look at Cabot and look at the whole week. Here's Cabot for the whole week. So you can see Cabot, because they're an exploration company and they're so tied in with these pipeline companies, that the E&P companies, the exploration and production companies, a lot of them took a dive along with the midstream companies. So I think that's what this is about. But as you saw, Williams kind of had a bounce back on Friday, but Cabot took another dive. Cabot started to bounce back and then took another dive. So there's something going on. I would say, I don't know, there's something a little funny going on with Cabot stock, I would say. So now let's do this. If you look at, let me show you this page again. So market capitalization is 11.515 billion. So $24.99. Okay, so I'm going to call up a little spreadsheet right here. This is hopefully the spreadsheet, and I'm going to put in 24.99, okay, and we multiply that by 30. There's 30 million shares, okay. So the total value, if you just multiply 30 million shares times the current stock price, $24.99, That means to repurchase 30 million shares, they need to have 700. Oops. How do I make this bold? How about like that? $750 million. So here's my question. 700. The Cabot Board of Directors authorized taking $750 million in cash and buying their own stock. Like, what? What is this about? Can you, if you had $750 million laying around, and you were an oil and gas exploration and production company, wouldn't you buy drilling equipment, or wouldn't you hire crews to go out and explore, or wouldn't you buy more lease properties? Something like that. If you had $750 million laying around, wouldn't you do something, spend it according to what your core business is, instead of buying a big pile of paper, Wall Street paper? What's up with that? It's hard to explain. Now let's look at one other thing, because recently Cabot So Cabot just divested from their Texas holdings, and I believe it was the Eagle Ford. The Eagle Ford Shale announced agreements to sell Eagle Ford. Okay, so now look at this. Let's look at this. This was December 20th, 2017. All right, so here it comes. It's coming up. Eagle Ford Shale. I'm doing too much using the browser and live streaming as on the same computer. A little bit problematic. Just have to be patient. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. PR Newswire. Cabot Oil and Gas Corporation announced today that it has reached an agreement to sell its operated and non-operated Eagle Ford Shale assets to an affiliate of Venando Oil and Gas for $765 million. Huh. Wait a minute. It was $765. Where have we heard that number before? $765 million. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Let's show it to you. Okay, here's the spreadsheet. $750 million is what we calculated they needed to do this stock buyback program. So we got $750 million and $765 million. So isn't that strange? Do you think maybe they sold off all their assets in the Eagle Ford Shale, and they got a bunch of cash, $750 million. And what they're going to do with that $750 million is use it to buy back their own stock. Huh? What? So, as you saw with what happened on last Thursday with the FERC change in the tax exemption for the master limited partnership, we saw the stocks dive. There's sell-offs. The stock price fluctuates according to bad news a lot of times. So it's almost as if that Cabot Oil and Gas is expecting some bad news to drive their stock price down. So I wonder what that could be. What do you think might the bad news be that could drive Cabot's stock price down to such an extreme degree? Wow. I wonder what that could be. Like, I don't know, maybe what would happen if Cabot actually was exposed for what they did in Dimmock, which there's been the subject of a massive cover-up. I've been investigating this for about 6 months now, and I will tell you there's been a massive cover-up into what Cabot did in Dimmock. This was a public health crisis of epidemic proportions. I would even say pandemic proportions. It was affected a huge percentage of the population, And Cabot has never been held accountable. They've never cleaned up their mess. They've never fixed the problem. They basically bought off. They gave everybody a bunch of money and made them sign non-disclosure agreements. So they shut them up. So the problem has gone away, right? Because the people aren't talking, right? There's no more problem in Dimick, right? Well, not exactly right. The water is still contaminated in Dimick. And there's still methane migration and lots of other chemicals and elements in the water, turbidity and all kinds of different chemicals that people are finding in their water. Yet nobody talks about Dimick. Well, why don't they talk about it? And why is the PADEP still issuing permits to Cabot when they have over 600? I think Vera she just got the number 670 now. They actually surpassed 666. We were making jokes about that Dan Dinges was going to get his horns in hell whenever they reached 666 violations. That was a little funny meme that I made. Let's see if I can find that. So they've got all these. Cabot is truly a rogue operator. They're one of the worst in terms of the amount of fines that they've paid, the amount of violations. Here it is. Let me just show you this really quick because I think it's funny. So it's just 5 more to go, Dano. I know you can do it. And it says Cabot Oil and Gas has 661 violations in Susquehanna County alone. So that was obsoleted pretty quick. And pretty quick. So that's it, friends. I just wanted to tell you that really quick news and get you to start thinking about it. That Cabot Oil and Gas is authorized a stock buyback program, and it amounts to, if you look at their total market capitalization, it comes out to be about 6.5% of their total stock they're going to buy back, because they just have $750 million just laying around that they couldn't find anything else better to spend it on, other than to buy back their own stock. So I just think that's a little strange, and I hope that you appreciate what we do here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast at the Bill Houston Podcast channel on YouTube. We also have a Facebook page. Please like that page. And if you feel so moved, I would appreciate it very much if you could toss me a little cash on my PayPal account. And let me give you the URL. It's tinyurl.com/donate to donate to Bill Houston. So I just want to show you this so that you can see it for your own self. Sorry. Glitchy. There it is. So tinyurl.com, donate to BH. Be sure to donate and be sure to subscribe to my podcast channel, and we will see you next time.